Hey everybody, this is Dirty Dave of InfernalDreams.net. I'm sitting here with the one and only Claude Miles from Catnippery Films, Catnippery Productions,
Yeah.
Vacationland. Claude, how you doing?
I'm great. Good to see you. Good
Awesome,
to see you this
man.
wonderful evening.
Awesome, I see you. You know, got the hair flow going.
I
Anyway.
do. Yeah, I need a haircut.
Oh, me too.
Always do. Yeah, it's just kind of shaggy.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're actually here at Vacationland Studios doing our little get together. Thanks for having us by.
Oh, anytime.
Come by and talk to you. You want to tell me a little bit about Catnippery Productions?
Sure. It's a giant tank-shaped thing that we found in the ruins of a Egyptian pyramid. One of the ones, I guess, that was like partially destroyed. Oh, it's really very exciting. I'm sorry I got carried away. And with it, you know, inside of it we found some DV tapes, and we've been able to put some of that footage together and come up with some really strange films. One of them is a Civil War era Western. Another one is sort of a food eating foot fetish cannibal short film called Gastronomique Excite. Yeah.
Find that
I know
in
it sounds like
Blockbuster.
I'm making that shit up, right? No, that's real. And then another one that I should say is sort of Philip K. Dick inspired drama called Temporally Yours, which is a short film about a girl who takes a temporal hallucinogen and it sends her into her own personal future and at little bits and spurts, and sort of the trouble that kind of drug can cause you. That's a fun one. And then Paradise, although I don't know that that'll be the final name of it.
Working title.
Yeah, Paradise or the Way Station or something else. It's coming along. We did for my birthday. I was given by a wonderful editor, Mr. Jason Crow, brought me a rough draft to see some of the footage and see how it was coming together, and it looks really, really good. We got a little ways to go, but I'm really pleased with what's there so far. He prepped me for a stinker, and I was very pleasantly surprised.
Now, I've been hearing a lot about you run your own secret convention, Concave.
Well, yeah, technically I just sort of recently started running it. It's Kentucky's longest running science fiction convention. It's called Concave. It's been in business for 30 years. This is actually, the 2010 is the 31st year for Concave, and it is technically via all legal, what you might call it, it's whatever thing. I've only been president of the corporation that is that nonprofit since, 2009, and I've helped run it and take it over or whatever as the chairman of the board and president of the corporation or whatever. In the last year it became all formal, and I took full reins and have had the mailings and all the things to send on me that are required to put on a convention. It's a relaxicon. We don't have big stars. We don't pay for stars or anything like that. Our guest of honor is usually a fan guest of honor, as in someone who's helped out at World Cons or behind the scenes at conventions for years and years.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's kind of a sad story this year. One of the people who's instrumental in putting Concave together 30 years ago and part of the Speculative Fiction Society at Western, Annette Carrico, was going to be our guest of honor, and she passed away just like last month. So, we're sort of in memoriam. We're not going to find another guest. We're just going to do it for her. And at our banquet, we usually have the guests of honor speak, and or people talk about them, that kind of thing. We have a banquet on the Saturday of the convention. And this time we've invited her sister, who was never involved in fandom, science fiction fandoms. It's this whole cult, much like horror fandom. And in fact, they split at one point in the past because people wanted to have a full horror convention. So it used to be the World Science Fiction and Horror Convention. I think it's just science fiction now. But anyway, I digress. We invited her sister, who doesn't know this whole other side of her departed sister's life. All these people who have 30 years of memories of Annette and the wonderful things that she did for fandom and everything. And so she's going to come and we'll get to say some things, really nice things about her, sort of to her other side of her life or whatever. And hopefully this will be a positive and fun event. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a great time. It's always
Absolutely. If someone wanted to go to that, how would they find information?
Well, our website is not up and running, and we hesitate to bring it full board because we're really limited with our space. For 15, almost 20 years now, we've had a lottery system to get a room in the hotel because we take the whole thing for Concave, and It's not the kind of thing we want to advertise too heavily because we can only handle so many people. So we haven't been very fast to jump on our website and get it running. The best way to find us would be to go to a regional convention, science fiction convention, and look for flyers. They'll have them there. You know, we'll be next to LibertyCon, and there'll be Concave, and all the other different conventions that happen. You know, Chattacon, and
Check the con drop tables.
yes, check the con drop tables. You know, beyond that, we will eventually have the website running. I think growth is something that is inevitable. It's not something we seek, but I think it is inevitable.
Kind of like trying to get into the old punk clubs of the 80s in New York City, the floating clubs.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's a non-profit. We're not trying to make any kind of money, and what we do make, we've used to just sustain our own funding in a legal non-profit way, and we've given some money to Horse Cave Repertoire Theater. We raised some money for them last year, and then before that we've done some donations to the American Cave Museum. Mainly things about Horse Cave. Our actual charter is something to the effect of to promote science in literature in the Caveland area.
Okay.
So that is a very wide berth, you know, for a social organization. That we were a club that meets and we throw a big ass party, and then we incidentally raise some money, and it goes to science, to promoting science in literature, whether we're buying books for schools or we're giving money to the local repertoire theater. We know whatever we can do. So
Excellent. And any projects that you're involved in now that you would like to plug?
Pretty excited about a couple of things. One of them is a little thing called Malfunction, which I think we just got some. We reached another phase where you convert this to that and make bits, bytes, and all that kind of stuff, and then you can look at it and cut it into bits and make it into something, throw it up in the air, and then you put it back together, and it's 3 minutes long, and you go, look, it's a music video, or whatever, you know, you get something out of it. Editing! It had a word. There was a word for it. I knew they would have thought of one. Yeah, the editing process is now moving into a different stage, like where it can be advanced forward, and so I'm really excited to see some of that stuff. I'm a giant science fiction fan. Well, you know, I'm this big of a science fiction fan, and so it's one of my sort of dream projects. You know, I get just this wonderful, fabulous fucking role and this great ship and show, and so hopefully it will
Aside
really
being
work
asked
out.
to be an extra in the Doctor Who episode.
Yeah, I'd be like extra, you know. That's not what my agent said. You know, like I always heard something about recurring character. You know, like regeneration of Captain Jack. I don't know. So, stop it! You stop! Put it away.
Claude?
Companion. He needs male companions. Doctor needs male companions. He's a young guy. He needs somebody to show him the ropes. You know, Matt Smith. He's what? You know, 25. We're the same age. Actually, I think he's older. He's like 26.
But thanks for having us by, sitting down and talking with us, spending a little bit of time.
Absolutely, I feel like I just completely rambled, and
That's
hopefully
awesome.
It's at least strange and amusing.
Hey, sometimes it's better than the pre-planned things.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming.
All right.
Are you going to flash the camera before we leave? Give them a little.
Oh, they pay me to keep my clothes on. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, checking out Claude Miles, Catnippery Productions. I'm Dirty Dave from Infernal Dreams. I'll see you later.